One of the biggest problems for all baseball players, whether you're playing the field, catching, pitching, is always shoulder. As soon as you overdo it in the weight room, as soon as you throw too many balls, your shoulder starts barking, sometimes your elbow starts barking. So what I'm going to do is give you a couple stretches that have helped people I've worked with and helped myself get rid of shoulder pain and help me stay loose to throw. I'm using our strap right here, but you can use anything you'd like. You can use a towel, something that has a little bit of length to it so that you can complete this stretch. What you want to do, take the strap or the towel, whichever you have, hold it long ways, and we want to drop it down the middle of your back. I'm going to stretch my left arm here, so when I come underneath, I'm going to grab and have a good squeeze on this right side. When I lift up, that's where the stretch begins. As you get to your peak point, you can then lay the strap over and let your shoulder sag. So as you pull up on your arm, I'm kind of high on my shoulder side. Now watch as I exhale, I'm going to relax my shoulder. See how it sinks there? You're loosening up all your muscles in there, your external rotators, your internal rotators, and as you relax and you let your shoulder sink, you're going to gain a little bit of flexibility. Here you can see that I'm at the peak position, and this is about all the farther I can go. Now watch as I can work my wrist just a hair and get a little more flexibility, okay? Again, I exhale and I let my shoulder sink, and it's going to help stretch my shoulder. Now watch here as I switch arms. If you get to your non-throwing arm and it goes way above your throwing arm, that means you're extremely tense. I'm pretty close, but often what you'll get is I'm left-handed. You'll get an arm that looks like this, and then you'll use your non-throwing arm and you'll get an arm that looks like this. Generally, this means that you have tightness in your throwing arm and you must get it loose or you're going to have problems when you throw. Even if your arm doesn't hurt now, slowly over time, the muscles are imbalanced in your shoulder. You have too much tightness on the back side or on the front side, and if you leave it that way, when you start throwing, your shoulder is going to slowly start hurting, and you're going to develop possibly tendonitis or other things. So make sure if your non-throwing arm is looser than your throwing arm, you get them evened out. Next stretch here is great to stretch your internal rotation. What you need to do is get on your throwing arm side. I'm left-handed, so I'm laying on my right or my left arm here, and notice that I can either shift my arm up or I can lay on my shoulder. It's key that you lay on your shoulder because we don't want to rotate our scapula out. If we go here and we stretch our arm, it looks like we're really flexible because our scapula has rolled off our spine. That's not what we want. Now if I get on top of my arm to where I've stabilized and pinched my scapula together, now it's all my shoulder and I can see how flexible I am. If you're here, you really got to get to work, okay? This is not good. You want to generally, most people are down in this range and some people can get it all the way to the floor. But remember, if you're here, make sure you check your form because if you've let that scapula come up, it's very easy to get to the ground. See how I've lifted my torso up? It's easy for me to get here. Now if I get back on this shoulder, I rotate in, this is where I'm at. I'm a little tight, I've been lifting a lot, so I'm a little tight here. So when you get to this position, you want to work into where it pulls just a little bit, leave some weight on your opposite arm, and now you're going to work your way out slowly. 3-second counts on the way out, and give resistance with your right arm, or your left, whichever arm you're dominant with. So as you resist out, you get to about the 90-degree angle position, parallel to the ground, perpendicular to the ground, and then you're going to come back down into it. Do this sequence about 10 times, and slowly you're going to notice you get looser and looser. Both of these stretches you want to complete 3 to 4 times a week. You never want to stretch too much because you can actually hurt yourself. If you get too loose and you start throwing or lifting hard on your overstretched muscles, you can damage them. So go about 3 to 4 times a week and always make sure you warm up before you complete these stretches. These are not natural motions, but they're essential to keep your arm healthy from throwing.